Hello again, YouTube. This is the Truth Man early morning edition. I'm trying to start early because I'm hoping to stop and watch that game. The Chiefs and the Lions. Lions up and coming. That's going to be a good game. I believe it's going to be a better game than people probably thinking. So be careful with those point spreads. If it's a large spread for Kansas City, they don't even have Travis Kelce. So be careful. Yeah, I know we talk about sports on here. This is all subject channel. But we off subject because we talking about politics on this one. And all of you that vote and are voting age, I'm going to break it down for you so you won't be voting based on emotion. So you won't vote based on emotion. Like, from my research, my views are more leaning towards the conservative side. I'm a real conservative. Now we got to call people real and fake. If you're a racist, you're not a conservative. Go back and look at what conservatives did through history. It was conservatives that freed our ancestors from slavery. The abolitionists, Abraham Lincoln, so on and so forth. Now you can say, well, they did it for, who cares what the motive was? Why are you even talking about the motive? Did you want to be a slave? That's why we shouldn't be talking about what the motive was. That just annoys the hell out of me. People want to talk about why they freed the slave. That's not even important, man. They did it. That's all that matters. So, but I'm going to help y'all. I'm going to give y'all some basics on what each party truly stands for and what you can expect by putting them in the office. Let's start with the Democrats because, black people, we taught to vote Democrat. But listen, Martin Luther King originally was not a Democrat. He wasn't. He was basically persuaded into being a Democrat, and I believe that was one of the reasons why he said that he felt like he did the wrong thing. If you look at Malcolm X's videos on the Democrats, Malcolm X didn't agree with them like that. So all of y'all who are saying you progressive and you pro-black, but you leaning towards them Democrats, who you being like? You ain't being like Medgar Evers or any of them. They were swayed to that through deception. Because the Democrats were the South. They wanted to keep slavery. Like Jefferson Davis and all of them. Look up some of his speeches. You say, well, it switched. How did it switch? How it switch? ACLU, how it switch? See, y'all don't be knowing these things. Okay, so first thing I want to talk about. Democrats are for globalism. They're not for nationalism. They're not for improving the United States. They're for improving the world. But here's what you don't realize. If you have an advantage, why would you give it up? If you give up your advantage, that's let's say it was 7 of us and I was the leader. And all the resources were coming to me first and all the main resources. But then I gave up all my power and one of the other 6 were wanted the power and was going to abuse it if he ever got any piece of it. And so we divide the resources up. That one of the 6 that wanted the power that was going to abuse it is going to take more for themselves and give you less, even though you are the one producing a lot of the things. That's how it's worked. Globalism, digital currency, all this stuff is all leaning back towards slavery. And if you do your research, slavery leans back to the Democrats. So for you to keep your advantage, you got to remain nationalistic. And another example. I'll give you another example. Say a person has his own family, right? And his family has needs, but he's trying to help other people. Like, he's helping other people meet their needs and stuff like that. And then he comes back home and he done gave all his resources away that he really should have gave to his own family first. That's what normally happens. And really right there, the Democrats and the Republicans are guilty of that. They want to tell us to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, but then every country that has a need, they give money to them, large amounts. So, but who's keeping score? You know what? I'm going to keep score on that, because that ain't right. That's what they doing. It's both, but it's mainly the Democrat. They say, pull yourself. They give us one of the smallest stimulus checks out of the countries. And then we look up and they giving billions to the Ukraine, billions to this person, billions to that group. Okay, I'll give you another example. Black Lives Matter raised, 90 million? Something like that. Okay, how much of that came from the United States? I'll wait, but I ain't gonna wait long, because that's an easy one. So, they for globalism. They for control. See, that's what their whole party is based on more governmental control. That's why when they get in there, you see them trying to take guns away, limit magazines, try to force you to educate your kids with certain ways, with people in the classroom that you wouldn't even let in your house. You know, that's what they do. And y'all vote for them, so y'all with it. Y'all with the rainbow community forcing that on your kids. I already know they're going to shadow ban this, but that's just a fact. If you in that community, you shouldn't have to recruit or force it on people. If they choose it, they choose it. If they don't, they don't. But impressionable minds, 5-year-olds, you should not be putting that in their minds. For what? For them to start bothering their own siblings and cousins? But that's what happens. That's what happens, because Democrats want to think for you. Republicans say, think for yourself. Now, Republicans can be hypocritical at times. Democrats are for more social programs and less business ownership. They're for employment. Why? Because employment is control. Democrats believe in the A word. Conservatives don't. They say it's their body, their choice. Conservatives say that's a life too. Conservatives are more for the rights of the people. Democrats are not. But conservatives, what makes them bad is sometimes they be hypocritical, like I said, in terms of the poor. You know, Trump and certain ones, they not going to take away Social Security. So stop believing that lie. Did he take it away when he was in office? How many years was he in office? Did he take it away? I rest my case. But you don't want the Congress, you don't want the House and the Senate to be ran by one party, because then it'd be lopsided. That's where I want the balance at. And that's where you should want the balance at. In your state, in the U.S. government, you should want balance in that, because if you have all Democrats, they're going to try to force that thing, force us to take that thing. And they're going to force. If you have all conservative, they're going to take from the poor. They ain't going to eliminate stuff, but they're going to take stuff away. You know, and they're going to give people tax breaks. They got enough money to pay their taxes. This ain't no lie. But what Trump did, Trump gave everybody tax breaks. He froze the income tax while that thing was going on. So don't vote against. So here's how it is. If you in the rainbow community, obviously you're gonna want to vote for the Democrats. But you still gonna be hanging yourself in certain ways if you do. Because they're gonna force things, and and I'm gonna tell you something else. The hoaxes, if you want to talk about hoaxes, they more known for that because they really not the best debaters. So they had to rely on emotion and fear to win, which you notice how as soon as elections start coming around, they want to talk about that again. Because Biden can't beat Trump without cheating with absentee ballots or putting fear in the people. He can't even debate him or Kamala Harris. So they got to do this old weirdo stuff and orchestrate it. And I believe, me personally, that the CIA, FBI are not for Trump. Not like they are for Biden. But who keeping score on that? I ain't keeping score on that. So the conservatives, they're going to be a little more harsh in regards to healthcare, certain things. But it's going to make them hypocritical when they start supporting the other countries. They ain't going to support the other countries as much as the Democrats because they're going to trying to put democracy in those other countries. So again, you claim you heterosexual, but yet you do realize when you vote for Democrat, what you're doing, right? That's not a heterosexual vote. Unless you more liberal. You don't believe in guns. You don't believe in homeschool. You don't believe in these things. Faith-based initiative. Conservatives is faith-based initiative. We got a lot of hypocrites like Nick Fuentes, Pearly Things. Obviously, they not real conservative. They plants. I'm a real conservative. But I'm not against everything that Democrats vote for in terms of some of the aid, like rent assistance. Man, listen, I done needed that. Those are important programs. If you gonna help these other countries, okay, if you ain't got rent assist, then you shouldn't be helping all other countries. See, that right there, that's where I draw the line with some of this stuff. Like energy assistance, rent assistance, that stuff is necessary, man. Sometimes you have to quit jobs. Sometimes you get fired. You shouldn't lose your standard of living if somebody mistreats you on the job and you leave. So that's where I agree with the Democrats. And that's why you want to have a balance. But we're going to come back to it. This is going to be a series. This is going to be a series. Think about some of the stuff I said. If you got any questions, ask them in the comments. And we will see you with more videos all through the day.